But Jay, I'm hot. I'm sweating. And
Oh,
like I told
baby,
you before I pressed record, if I pass out, just keep going.
I'm there for the ride, baby.
Don't stop. Keep
Don't
going.
start.
Can't stop, won't stop. All right. All right, let's do this. So,
I see you. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me, Shell, bitch.
hey, gente, welcome back to another week of the It's Me Shell podcast. And remember, my job is to make your road to Friday a lot easier. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, mi gente, depending on where in the world you are. I hope you had an amazing start to your week. And as always, thank you for tuning in and sharing your Monday blues with us. You could tell something's wrong when I start to stutter when I say this shit every single week. But thank you for sharing your Monday blues with us. And if your week sucked or is starting to suck, depending on when you're watching or listening to this episode, we are here to help because we have come to save the day. So, welcome back to episode 3 of the It's Michelle podcast series, Funny Gals Talk, with yours truly, Michelle S. and Jay, or JS,
Hello.
as I like to say, because it just makes more sense. Hey, Jay.
Hey, baby.
Hey, girl. I mean, hello, you got to get a standing ovation. What's wrong with you?
Oh, baby. Yeah, I try. I try.
Uh, Listen, and if you don't remember, on this series, we talk about our normal, everyday, and past lives because it's basically comedy and we share it with you all. Okay. And on this episode, we are talking about our breast stories. That's what I've named it. Instead of breast stories, they're breast stories. But before we get into it, we have to do our mental health checks because a good friend will always check on your health mentally. So, Jay, how are you doing?
Well, baby, I'm better now. However, a few days ago I wasn't because I have epicondylitis, which to anybody who doesn't know, it's an inflamed tendon in your elbow. Look at me going all doctory and shit, Michelle, like you. So it's called tennis elbow, and it hurts like fuck. And although now the pain is subsided a little bit and I'm feeling slightly better, and I'm using all the information that I can get from my babe Michelle and my good doctor who really took me at a time of distress, and my mom, of course, who was like there for me during the night when I was crying. My mother was like, no, mom, I'm just in pain. And now I'm trying to feel a little bit better.
Don't forget, we love Mama. Hey, Mama. How you doing? If you're listening, we love her. She's always where she needs to be at the right time or at the wrong time. It doesn't matter because she's Jay's mom. So she's always there.
Yes.
But I've said it before and I will say it again. I'm so happy that you're here. I appreciate you, Jay, for your time and all your positive energy
Oh my
because
God,
that's
baby.
what you give off. And I'm here for all of it. That's how we survive out here.
Yes, yes.
So Jay spoke about her elbow, and it's like I'm telling you, we are soul bonded in a sense. It's you and another podcaster. Well, they're not, but they're a couple. I feel like we all have the same personalities, and for some reason, it's like, oh my god, you too, me too. Like that's always like how we tell our stories. So Jay just told you about her epicondylitis, which just means we're gonna have to rough with her elbow if it don't get any better. We're about to fight her elbow.
Yeah.
Okay. But for those of you who don't know, I had surgery a week ago and I'm doing fine. But I want to thank you, Jay, and everyone else who checked up on me. You guys are fucking sweet. I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much because, we're away from each other. And sometimes people are like, oh, podcasters, are those your only friends? And I'm just like, actually, they are really nice people.
Yeah, babe.
The
You can suck
podcasters
it.
I know, the people I know that I've met in my travels through the interwebs and social media are very, very nice, genuine people. So thank you, every single one of you, and especially you, Jay. I really appreciate you. You sent me voice messages, all that stuff. You were like, hey, girl, are you okay?
You're my girl, babe. You're my girl.
So thank you. And I'm actually going to talk about the journey. I think in next week's the following week's episode. Um, and it's because I've been documenting my road to surgicalization, and I want to share it with you all. And I know that surgicalization is not a word, okay? But have I not mentioned that I'm Dominican? Girl, I'm Dominican, and yes, are you annoyed? Do I care? No, that's okay. I can't deny who I am. I make up words, and they're usually very hard and tongue twisty. All right. So, I don't want to forget to mention, if you haven't done so already, make sure you click that subscribe button, okay? Before you get comfortable, before you do anything, click on that subscribe button below. And if you want to click that notification bell, go ahead because you don't want to miss a thing. I mean, we're two funny gals out here talking about everything that makes life fucking funny. All right. So, just click on them buttons, my darlings. Just do it. I wanted to say that early just in case we forget. So just do it. That's my best Shia LaBeouf. I don't know. Do you have a good Shia LaBeouf? Don't let your dreams be dreams. I don't know. That's all I got.
I hope I have a shell above. I guess maybe ogling at Megan Fox. This would be my shell. Like if she walks next to me, I'd be like, "Hey,
so
Megan."
your Shia is like the pensive one, the one that kind of like.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally me. I'm a writer. Like we always like to pretend we're a writer. Doesn't just stare at the window. They're thinking, of course, they're just staring at the window, or they have constipation or shit. No, so yeah, for me, I'd be like, and they'd be like, "Oh, a writer. You're just thinking about a new poem, haha." And
Oh,
then
you're
you'd be like,
so eclectic.
yeah, of course I am. Poetry. So yeah.
Poetry, blah blah blah. Yes, writer, word,
Writer.
writer. You got like
Oh, it's
writer.
just writing. What's your problem? It's writing. It's writing. Yes. Please give me that vodka. I want to sing.
What? Oh, I like that gift. Bring me the vodka.
Get it, bitch. Ozo. Yes.
Those we done, yeah. We're so cultured. We're cultured.
Yeah, we're spreading around, which is why I'm trying to know more people to get. So you should have
Right.
seen this French bitch. Like she's this director, and I love her and stuff like that. And she's like meeting me for the first time, and I'm walking, like Happy Jay going to meet people, and she's like, "Oh, you're so short. Oh, I never said you were so short." And I'm like, "Oh, you're so old. I never said you were so tall." And I hug her.
Oh, hey, do you know the French though? They're very blunt. They kind of they were born to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, and I'm
Oh,
going to sit on them.
oui, you smell like shit. It's like
Yeah,
I gotta work on the French. I do.
exactly.
What? I'll work on it. I'll work
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, sorry. So I say, you cannot do this. You cannot do this. Oh yeah, merde. Merde means shit. Yeah,
on right. Merde. Oh, merde.
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 And like
Ugh.
yeah, and she's
Okay.
looking down at me with her long legs, and I'm like, bitch, I'm
And you're
down here,
looking
but
up
I'm
at
gonna
her.
pull you.
He's looking up at her like, okay, what's up,
No,
girl?
I hug her like by force. Like I kind of like make her like,
Get
oh,
over here.
ma belle. You know, and she
Oh, I
hates me
love
for it.
it. You were like fucking mortal. Get over here. You were like
Come
aggressive.
on, I'm gonna strangle you, bitch.
Right. You were like, you want to be dainty? I'll show you dainty.
I'll show you dance, but you don't know me. I'm in Alexandria. Remember New York girl at heart.
Right.
Yeah,
You
lives
are
here.
from the Bronx where we do
Yeah,
everything very rough
yeah,
for some reason.
exactly. Same
I
here.
don't know why. We just are.
So you should meet this amazing French director together. You and I. This
Oh,
energy. And she's
she'll
like,
either love us or hate us. There's no in
yeah,
between.
exactly. Because she might find us, like, c'est bon, and
Oh,
give us this
right,
puff of cigarettes, and we'll
right.
just be like, yeah, and drink Coke or something to
Or
pretend we're
she'll
like,
be, or she'll be completely petrified, like, ooh, she'll be
oh
clutching.
Dieu, mon Dieu. Yeah, exactly.
She'll be
Yeah,
clutching her pearls. Yeah, there's
mind
no
you,
in
my
between.
ass. Yeah, who are you? You're not from the South or whatever. Shut up, bitch. Just go. We'll just chill together, and
Right.
maybe strike friendship with the bartender or something. Yeah.
Which will
Cool.
definitely happen, and then we'll end up getting free drinks, and then like it just evolves. We'll end up like working there eventually. Like, hey
That-
guys, we'll have our own seat at the bar with our names on them because that's just how it happens. We'll walk in, hey, and we're like, hey everybody, we're back. Hey everybody, we're back. We're back for more.
yeah.
They would definitely love us because that's just
Oh,
who we are, and that's okay.
wow.
So this episode is brought to you by Jay and my chesticles, or as we're calling them on this episode, our breastories. Because it's all about the titties, titties, titties. We don't need no titties, titties, titties. Actually, we need the breasts, right?
Yeah, we
We
need
need
them.
them. So, whatever. And we made a joke on our very first episode about our boobies. And like the funny gals that we are, we thought to ourselves, well, why not talk about our itty bitties, right? So, as always, let's talk rules. I always have the rules, girl, whether we follow them or not. And listen to the YouTube gods. This is for educational purposes. Okay. There are a lot of Michelle's and a lot of Jays out there that are in the making, and they need to know about the hardships of growing up, being a grown up, being Michelle and my Jaylan.
Jaylan. Yes.
Jaylan. I always do
Yeah.
that. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
baby. No,
Jaylan.
baby. I
I'm
like
so
it. You're allowed to say anything, my baby. Yes, yes. You say it, baby. You say it.
sorry. Honestly, though, there should be a show. Being Michelle and Jaylan.
Please. This would kill it, damn it. There's
Yo,
no other.
think about it. Being us, because people don't really understand what happens to us on a daily basis. They really don't believe it. And I'm like, yo, these are real stories. You know how people are just predisposed to like diabetes and stuff? We're predisposed to the bullshit that happens to us in our lives. We are definitely, and we just make a really big joke out of it. And I think that's why we're predisposed to it. Because I don't think a lot of people will be able to handle it. They were like, oh my God, I'm so offended. I'd be like, what? Oh, okay. That's kind of funny. Maybe I should use that in like a comedy skit. But will I be canceled? I don't know.
Exactly. Well, you never know. Maybe we'll be canceled. Imagine day one stand-up comedy, and then we're not gonna
Right.
see you again. But why? I have
Then
a lot.
then I get booed, and all of a sudden I'm like making an apology video. Like, I'm just on here to say I'm
I'm
really
learning. I'm working on myself, and I'm learning, and I'm constantly learning, and I gotta talk to other people. Yeah.
Isn't that what people always say when they make their apology videos? I am learning and I am learning myself. Like, bitch, how old are you? Why are you still learning yourself? If you don't know yourself, if you don't know that you're a loudmouth that might say the wrong shit, then girl, you got a problem. Because I know I'm a loudmouth that might
Yeah.
say the wrong stuff, but I don't mean it. It's not from coming from a bad place. And if you
Yeah.
correct
You
me, I'm like,
see.
oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. Yeah. I won't say that again. But then I might say it again by mistake because I'm just like, so I'm aloof. I'm
Exactly.
aloof.
Oh yeah. You're
I
aloof.
don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, as always, I mentioned the rules because it just sounds good, right, Jay? It sounds good. It sounds good.
Give it
It
to
sounds
me,
good.
babe.
Sounds good to say we got rules. And we don't really follow them, okay? But we do what we want, and it makes us sound structured. So the rules for this episode is that we have to start our story, or we have to start. Okay, so the way I put it is kind of like we have to start saying the phrase, what is the deal? And it doesn't have to be like a full joke. You could just be, what is the deal with blah 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 blah, and then you can start with your story. So I'll give an example, right? Because
Okay.
why not? So I always talk about rubber bands falling to the floor and taking a very phallic shape every time. It's always happened to me for some reason. Every time I walk past a rubber band in my house, it has a very phallic shape, very phallic. And I'm just like, yo, this looks like a dick on the floor. So, what is the deal with rubber bands looking like dicks? Especially when they're on the floor. You see, it kind of takes that, they kind of look like a possum, because a possum likes to play dead and shit. So I feel like a rubber band, wants to look like a penis because it wants people to pick it up. It wants to entice people. So that's kind of like that, rubber bands
Mm,
feel neglected. Rubber bands need love too. That's all I'm going to
mm.
say.
Oh
So
la
that's
la.
it. That's kind of like how I feel. And I don't know if you get, well, you, Jaylan.
Yes. Ah, that was. Ah.
And listen,
Oh.
I've been doing this for so long but I've always
Mm.
called you Jay, that you would think like I just met you today and I'm just recording a show with you right now. Like,
You're closer
because
than
of your
ever.
name. This is terrible. Say my name wrong. I'll feel better. Say my name wrong.
My shul. My shula. Mishili, Papa.
Sounds
Mishili.
enticing.
Mishili. Don't let me start it. I say everybody's name wrong on purpose, and I like give them hell. Like you should. When we get even closer,
I
I'll
like
give you
that.
nicknames that will you'll just tell me to stop. Seriously, I give
Okay.
my mom and my sister nicknames, and my close friends, like my guy friends, like hate it. And I
Really?
give them names like I had this friend whose name was like Tariq or something, and I call him Peter, and I just say it out loud in meetings, like Peter, hey, and aren't you like Tariq?
Oh,
And he's like, you gotta stop with this. I'm like, but why? You look like a Peter, baby. You look like my ex. His name was Peter.
shit. I kind of like that. Like just saying
Yeah,
everybody's name wrong.
yeah.
Like,
See,
hey, Jocelyn, my name is Maria. Oh, nice to see you too, girl. And just walk away. Now,
oh
that is a
yeah,
new level. That is a new fucking level.
see.
Oh, we're going to try this.
All right.
But what I wanted to ask you was, have you seen the movie Raging Bull?
Yeah, ooh,
I know,
yeah.
it's one of my favorites. So the
Mm.
scene where Robert De Niro stops boxing and turns into like a nightclub owner slash comedian, and he practices his comedy routine like towards the
Yeah,
beginning and like the end of the movie in front of the mirror. I just felt when I was saying that, what is the deal with the rubber bands joke? I honestly, that's how I felt. I was like, I'm Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. It's like a rubber band looks like a dick. And thank you. I love you so much. And because that's how he was, right? It was just like very like,
yeah, definitely. Oh
and then
my
he kept
god,
like messing up, and then he had the cigar. I was like, damn,
man, I'm Robert De Niro. Oh,
that's it. That's who I just embodied.
come on, yeah, come on, invoking the
Possums,
spirit.
right?
Enter me.
Possums and rubber bands,
That's
penis
so cool,
and
baby.
jokes. I wish upon a star. Like he was just saying words. Doesn't
Baby
matter
channel,
who you are. Like it was just.
baby channel him perfectly.
I thank you. So Jay, what do you think about the rules?
Oh my god, I'm trying. What is the deal with? Ah, this is so cool. I try to work it out
I
with
think
my story. I hope so.
I
So
think
I'm
you
like, oh my god, what is the deal? Hmm.
no, I definitely think you got it. So I want to ask you, do you think we're going to have a moral? Should we have a moral? We usually do, but I ask because sometimes we laugh too much to be the morality police. So I don't know. What do you think? Are we going to have a moral?
My moral is kind of like I don't know. Like usually my moral is like, why is everybody just shitting on everybody? Like this will be my moral in all of my stories because all of the stories is usually me being shat on.
Yeah.
So usually the moral of the story is like, why are you guys shitting on others, including me? So I think it'll be my moral. I don't know. It fits all. It's the
No,
one that fits all.
you're right. You're right. And this time, maybe your moral can be, why are you shitting on me, chest? Like,
Yeah, why are you shitting on my boob? What's
right.
wrong with it?
Like, what are
What's
you
wrong
doing?
with it?
What are you doing? All right, fine. So we'll have a moral. It can be
All
short.
right,
We'll figure it out like we always do.
all right, yeah.
Okay. And now that you know the rules and we've gotten it out of the way, let's get into it. All right. So I always say this, and I will never stop saying it because I need people to understand. And I said it a little bit in the beginning. So, Jay and I both have had similar experiences as we often do or did while growing up without knowing each other on opposite sides of the world. Okay. And this time, our experience has to do with boobs, the chesticles, the jugs, the good old airbags. Okay. The old bean bags. And I don't mean to offend anyone. It's just interesting that all these names actually exist. I looked them up. It's fucking crazy. There were a lot more, but I said, okay, these seem a little more, I think these are okay. Because if I go down the list, it's just way too much, right? So why not use the vocabulary that has been given to us by the alphabet gods? Why not use these words? Anyway, last episode, I started. So, Jay, I will let you start this episode. What say you, Jay? Do you want to start?
Yeah, baby. Okay,
Okay,
sure. Okay, so
let's
I start
go.
with the what's
What's
the
the
deal?
deal?
Well, what's the deal with B cups? What's the deal with B cups? Like, why do I have to wear them, guys, if they're out there? And what's the deal with discovering that B cups are not my boobs? like discovering that this is all a scam. Why? What is the deal? So for me, it's like, what is the deal? A boob is a boob, and a B cup is a B cup, and together they make a fake boob shape. So what's the deal? What is the deal? A boob is a boob, a deal is a deal. And I'll take a puff of my cigar, and look in the mirror and see what a shit I am. So for me, what is the deal with a B cup? It's always been suggested to me by all the women that I meet, like, why don't you wear a B cup? And I'm like, why don't you suck my dick? So for me, it's like, why would I even wear it? Like, I really like the, okay.
Wait, how you just flew right by that? Flag on the play. What is it? Holding. I don't even fucking know. Wait. I like that response. Jay, I really think you're from New York. Like, I can't even place it. Like, you have to be. Your responses are pure New Yorker. That's all I'm going to say. And I'll let you go ahead. I'll let you finish. Oh my God, it's too much for me to handle. I'll let you finish.
Okay, so it's been suggested by a lot. Like, first of all, let me tell you that I'm not a fan of bras. Okay, and this is just me. It's me. What can I do? So for me, it's like, okay, no bra, happiness. And I would try to make up stuff. Like when you go to work, like a normal job, and people are like, oh, you're not wearing, because sometimes nipples perk, sometimes they don't. And when they perk, they're like, oh, and they're shocked and they're scared for their men, for coworkers, for like the office boy who brings tea, and they're like, why aren't you wearing a bra? So I would make up stories like, I'm a feminist and we burn bras. There is no such thing as bras. Bras are methods of torment. I don't wear bras because, and they get scared even more. Now she's not wearing it for a weird reason. Now then, bras are evil bitches. And then I would be like, I'm wearing one. And she's like, I can't see it. You can't see it. It's your problem, baby. What the hell? Wear glasses. Aha. And I'd make a stupid joke about it. And
Why are
then,
they looking? Why are you
and
looking?
then,
Why are you actively looking for my bra?
I don't know. Maybe you guys are like, where is she interested in me? I should be flattered, but you don't seem flattering. Haha. So you just, like, maybe if you were hotter, bitch, I would have think about it. But then I would go to this. I went to this wedding, like this engagement party last summer, and I had this amazing dress. Add to the problem is I usually wear cleavage. So imagine like I love cleavage. It's my what's your problem? It's me. I just love it. I love being messy with clothes and just like letting my body out of the way. And this is just me. So this, besides having the ultimate imperfect breasts and not wearing B cups and shit like that, it kind of like adds to the dilemma. So I was just at this wedding, like wearing my regular, like dangly bras and my dangly breasts. My breasts are not, like some women are gifted with these, like they work with them and you can feel like, you can see them in the bikinis and you're like, good appreciation. I love you. I accept you. And they don't accept you. And they see you in your bikini and they're like, oh, are these your bras? And you feel it down, the sadness, the shame, the blah, blah, blah. And you just want to, because I just don't give a shit about anybody. I just like me. So I went to this wedding feeling so beautiful, like this amazing, like hottie wearing this dress. And it was amazing. It was like very thin straps, really great blue color. And, like my breasts were out, like really, really out there. And they're not out there as in, like a Monica Bellucci. Who's the greatest actress with greatest breasts ever?
Girl, I don't know. I've stood away from titties my whole life because I've been so embarrassed. I'm like, I'm never gonna look at anybody with big titties ever.
Oh man, what about me? Why do I do this?
You know, right? I'm like complete bullshit. I'm always like, oh my God, they're so big. My goodness, is her
Yeah,
pimple?
and same here. And it's just like, oh, what are you stepping in? Let me see. Ah, what if I blow it off? Something is gonna blow off in our fucking faces. So like, this is not me. This is me. I have like these really skinny, winny, kind of like dangling, like tea bags and shit like that. And I'm just wearing my dress and I'm happy. And then what happens? Turns out my breasts are out there, headlines in every single family newspaper, and they're talking about it. And one aunt comes up to me after the wedding in which I thought I was queen of the world, so sexy, so beautiful. And she's like, oh, babe, are you wearing a B cup now? Again, I'm like, no. What does she do? She brings her hands and she's like, are you sure? I'm like, no, I'm not down. And she just brings her hands down and she's like, maybe you should wear a B cup. Maybe that way guys will like you better. And I'm like, Okay, let me tell you. If you think the problem is guys liking me, I have guys lined up all the way, bitch. They're
Wait,
everywhere.
you're not gonna fly by that one either, girl. Yes, queen, around the corner, honey.
All
Around
right.
the corner for me. Just like that. Shit. Around the corner. If you think my tits are a problem, honey.
Please, I'm like warding him off all day, all night. If you have a
Girl.
recipe for them going away, just give it to me. So, obviously, breasts are not the problem. Maybe the problem is I don't even find them worthy of my time. Maybe the problem is I'm really looking for a guy to settle, marriage material, and all these lurkers around are not worth a dime. So, thank you for the advice and thank you for the warm embrace, which was kind of like uncalled for. But at the
Of
same
course.
time, they're not there is not a lack of them. Actually, there is more. And I walk away feeling, like maybe in the past I would have been really, really affected by a comment like that or just an intrusion of privacy like that. But
Of
now that
course. Yeah.
I'm the bad bitch that I'm, honestly, I didn't even give it a second thought. I was just telling the story to my sister like it's another joke, I mean, like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? And she's like, girl, you're just causing controversy anywhere you go, so just let them suck it. This is what.
But it's so true. That's one of the things that's what we were saying before. We're like predisposed to certain things, and I think we mentioned this before in our the shady girlies episode, where people kind
Yeah.
of just want to pick on you because or on us, right? Because we're like nice and bubbly and happy all the time and very positive. But then when they pick on us, they're like, oh damn, this is not the right person for us to pick on because we kind of like we're this way because we know how it feels to be the other way. We don't want to be that way. We've experienced that. It's not fun, gives you wrinkles. We want to be happy. So that's why, we're like, so people kind of, they definitely do, misconstrue that. There's definitely a misconnection or a misunderstanding there. However,
Yeah.
girl, you told her, like, if anybody's going to feel any type of like anything, I'm sure she should have walked away with like her tail between her legs. Like, damn, she told me all the way off. God damn it. I was trying to meanwhile, you're like, maybe these boys aren't deserving of my perky boobs. I
Yeah,
don't care.
exactly. You guys
Oh,
keep it. Like keep your perfect breast to you. I'm content with what I have. Thank you very much.
period. And that's on how the what the girl said. That's on period.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
what they say.
yeah.
Aw. So Jay, what is this? What is the moral?
The moral is a poem that I wrote, I think, like mind your own boobs, bitch. This is a poem. Mind your boobs, bitch. I mind mine. Why don't you mind yours? So this
Yeah,
is the moral. If everybody just stays in their own territory, everybody goes happy. If you just
yeah.
stay in other people's territories, you'll get it up your throat or up your ass. Depends.
I agree with that. Because there have been moments in my life growing up where, when you're younger, you really don't have a filter, right? And then you're
I'm
uh,
still like that.
no, but I really love that honesty. No, honestly, I love that honesty. But
Oh,
then,
baby.
if you have parents like mine or a parent like mine, because we're not talking about mama, we love mama, but if
We
you have a
love mom.
if you have a parent like mine, you're kind of like forced fed this whole like, well, you have to be nice even if they're not nice to you and blah 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 because that's manners. You know what I mean? That's why I appreciate a kid's honesty. All my kids, I tell them all the time. I'm like, whatever you have to say, whether it's to me, whether it's to anybody, as long as you're not disrespecting them on purpose, then say it because I don't want you to feel like we're shutting you down, like we're shutting your mind up because of we don't want our feelings hurt because we don't want other adults feelings hurt. So I definitely am an advocate. Of course, you respect yourself, you respect your elders, you respect people when they deserve to be respected. But if they're disrespecting you and you tell them, yo, don't talk to me like that, you're not X, Y, and Z, hey, don't talk to them like that because they do have parents, at least parents like us, we care. But I was definitely force fed well, you can't say that because that's rude, that's disrespectful. So for a long period of time, up until like maybe I want to say my 20s, I was a little reckless, but I kind of,
Fluctuations, ups and downs, yeah.
right. And then finally, when I hit like my late 20s, early 30s, all hell broke loose. It was nuts because I was just telling everybody, like, listen, I got love for you, but why is this happening? That's funny. You smell weird. What's going on? Do you want to talk about it? Because it's just like maybe nobody else has told you. But anyway, that's for another episode.
Oh, baby, come on.
That's for another episode. But I definitely advocate for the girlies, the people out there who decide to tell others, mind your business. This is who I am. You're not going to tell me who I am, who I should be, how I should look like. You're not going to dictate any of that. If my boobs decide to be out of a bra, that's how they're going to be. And if my boobs are in a bra, that's how they're going to be. Don't worry about the men I need to attract. Don't worry about why I have a man, why I don't have a man. That's not your problem. That is solely my problem. You think I don't know I don't have a man? I mean, right? Like, you think, especially when girls would come up to me and be like, oh my God, but you're so funny and you're so pretty. What's wrong? Bitch, you think I don't know I don't have a man? Don't you think maybe I'm choosing to not have a man? Like, it's me. It's myself.
I know, bitch.
So,
Yeah.
right. So I definitely love your moral. All right. Okay. I am very proud of this title. Because it used to be the committee, like the itty bitty titty committee. This is the committees. That's who we are.
This is the commentary.
Committees. So now, if you're joining us, we're talking about all things breast related for Jay and I growing up. We're telling our breastories. So it is my turn to tell my story.
Anticipation.
All right. All right. Like a poetry jam. All right, everybody. Now, when you're talking about the breasts, you can't be quiet. It's just something you have to be loud and obnoxious about. So, what is the deal with breasts? I mean, they're heavy. They need their own customized mini t-shirt to hold them together and hold them up, right? And what's the deal with hoping your breasts got bigger? You wish and you wish. And when that doesn't work, you stuff and you stuff with toilet paper, that is, because that's what happened to me. And when the toilet paper falls out, when you're practicing for the latest dance routine in school in front of all your real and make-believe friends because school was bullshit. Nothing was real. For me, school was a fucking simulation because, man, I went through it. You still got itty bitties, okay? And nothing is real, including the size of my tits. Thank you. Thank you. And not to confuse anybody, I don't mean the size of my tits currently. I meant when I was saying my joke, coming from the inner, smaller person Michelle was. Yo, I used to stuff. Yeah, little Michelle used to stuff her bra with toilet paper. And I would walk around loud and proud.
Like you did before the testicles?
Loud, proud, and wrong. Loud, proud, and wrong because I shouldn't have been stuffing my boobs with toilet paper. Especially me. I used to sweat a lot, Jay. So eventually the toilet paper was just sticking to me. Like I was a hot mess when I got home. It didn't make any sense. And I would just continue to stuff and stuff and stuff. But it's okay. I'm all right. It made me who I am today. Honestly.
Well, these napkins made me who I am. And I thank them. I thank every drop of sweat on them.
Thank you, Scott Tissue. Shout out to you if you want to sponsor me. Yes, I used to use you to stuff my training bra. So thank you. Listen, I don't care. I just used to do it, And because everybody, listen, back when we were growing up, everybody around me, like I was in the 7th grade and girls' breasts were so big that I was like, how is this possible? And why hasn't it happened to me? Why is it impossible only for me? Like everybody was getting taller. Everybody was getting like really thin. And I was very small, but I was just short. But I was like very thin, right? Like to a point where like I would look down. I'm like, yo, I ain't got no boobs. Like it's crazy. I don't know. And listen, toilet paper fell out all the time.
Didn't even find a place to sit, like, can I just clutch to something? No. Where are Michelle's boobs? So they just fall.
My reenactment has Scott tissue in Michelle's training bra. So as it slides down, girl, this is not gonna work. And then just fall. And then it just falls right out.
And you're like dancing. You're like training for dancing, and you find it down on the ground. Damn it,
And I'm like,
girl.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3.
Silence.
And everybody would like, sometimes I got lucky. Sometimes people wouldn't see it. And I would like try to pick it up or try to like step on it and keep dancing with it on my floor and just slide my feet. And other times people would be like, girl. And I'm like,
Ooh.
what? I have a runny nose. I have to keep it in there because I
Yeah.
have a runny nose. I sweat too much. They're like, it's toilet paper. Yeah, but I sweat too much. And then you see like streaks of toilet paper. I'm just sweating. What's wrong? You've never done this? Because you got to make it dramatic. You've never done this before?
Awesome. Yeah. Funny girl. They're smart girls, man.
Yeah, because girl, I told you I had to be witty. Witty.
Yeah, baby.
I don't
That
know.
attitude.
But I was very lucky the times that people didn't see. Okay. At least I convinced myself that no one saw. Sometimes, you turn around real quick and you're like, oh, nobody saw it. Whatever. Whatever. Okay.
Just shove it down. Huh?
Listen. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't tuned in our first episode ever of Funny Gals Talk, we talk about embarrassing moments. And I don't know if you guys remembered that in my story, I said my crush kicked the shit out of my chest. And I thought that it stunted my tit growth.
Oh, see?
No, honestly, ever since then, I was like, my titties will never grow because of this piece of shit crush I had. Like I started like hating every time I saw him. I'm like, there goes the guy that stunted my growth. And I just walk by. And he's like, and I'm like, it's just like, oh, Michelle has such an attitude problem. It's like, no.
Growth of my breasts, you little
Anatomically. Right. Anatomically. You fucked me with like your size 17 and a half. Yeah, it was crazy. It was nuts. It was like, boom, like, oh, no titties, gone.
And then Michelle fell.
And then I was like, ah. So go back and listen to that first episode because it's fucking hilarious. But anyway, my breast grew when I was pregnant with my son. That's the first time I remember looking in the mirror and saying, wow, not only is my belly growing, but my tits are getting bigger too. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I was so happy. I will tell you, I was very happy. I was impressed. And the reason is because, so when I first looked, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, how is this happening? In school, we were taught about like hormones and stuff, but it was very kind of superficial, right?
Yeah, dumb. Mm-hmm.
Right. It was very dumbed down. So I learned what I learned, whatever. But like I never learned from my parent in depth. You know what I mean? Like your hormones affect this, a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't know what hormones were. I don't know why my parent was gatekeeping hormones. I don't understand. And then I started thinking, well, why are hormones gatekeeper to my tits? Like, why do I need to have hormones to have boobs? So it was a very confusing time. Listen, all I knew, don't forget, disclaimer, I am Dominican. All I knew is that I had to rub like oils on my tits to try to make them bigger. So I was like rubbing castor oils. I was like, well, this will promote,
grow boobs, grow boobs, grow
right.
boobs.
Like
yeah.
a fucking
And you
plant.
manifested.
I was like watering these bitches till a plant sprouted. Like I was just like, when is it gonna happen? It was terrible. It was a terrible time. I do miss the simplicity of that time, but I don't actually miss that actual time because that's too much trauma to think about.
Damn, I can't miss my years in the school because I think I once shed my pants because I couldn't remember, like the timetable. So I don't miss this. Although I was kind of I gotta tell you my school stories. I was kind of a cool New Yorker too when I was little. But this is for another story, another time, baby. You just continue your boob growth story because it's awesome.
I love that actually because I have many stories too. Like I said, I'm telling you, it just makes sense. So just so y'all know, we're gonna have maybe like elementary stories. This is what's up.
Come on, we're Egyptian. We make like this pieces of shit. They call it like the sweet, and they put it on the hair because I'm very hairy. Let me tell you, I'm so fucking hairy. And they just pluck it. And I'm told myself, Mom, no, I don't don't care. Whatever, you don't look like a girl. You look like a baboon. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna have this on my skin again. So we make our recipes too. We have our crazy recipes too. Come on. Come
See,
on, babe. I
I'm telling you.
understand you. Castor oil here, eating, like caramelized crap
No,
on the
it's
stove.
like Princess Bride, the
Yeah,
Eye of a Newt. You remember she was
this, this shit. Exactly. So I totally
making
understand.
concoctions. We're making concoctions and shit. All right, so
So
what's the
true.
moral? The moral of my story is that being a fucking girl is hard. And you go
Oh,
through a lot of shit. Okay. First, your tits don't grow. Then you sweat profusely. So you can't wear cute or light colored shirts because everyone can see your wet pits. Then you have to wear, black for a week once a month because you're tired of going through the embarrassment of wearing light colored pants during that time of the month and having to tie a sweater around your waist till you get home. Oh my God. Do you remember that?
oh,
It
it was the best
sucks.
time
I know,
ever.
and you're like waddling like a penguin. You're like, oh, nobody's gonna get it. Nobody knows why I'm wearing my sweater here. Comfort zone.
And my dad
Ah,
is like,
but it's
my dad was like the shittiest. He would be like, just take it off. You look like a gangster. Dad, you don't understand what's underneath. Take it off. No, take it off. Okay, if you want it. And then he'd be like, put it back.
Dad, I look like a gangster because I look like I was fighting like a gangster. There, you have no idea.
You don't understand it.
I need the
Dad,
sweater. I need the
come
sweater.
on.
Listen, it fucking sucks. But to all the girls in the world, I will say that it does get better. And I mean, it does take, a sweet ass time, but it does get better. So to all the parents watching this, please let them know that things will turn around. Because if they're watching this episode, I'm going to judge you. Okay. This isn't meant for them. This gem right here is definitely rated R.
Damn it. I was going to say, let the kids watch her.
Y'all better turn around and interpret this shit to them kids. Okay. Because, bitch,
Imagine.
hopefully it's not too late. If your kids are sitting there talking about toilet paper, I blame you. I blame nobody else but you. This is rated R. It's on the description.
Yeah.
Don't play yourself. Don't
Oh
play
my God.
yourself.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Michelle's kids are not going to watch this, okay?
no, but they're possibly listening. So
Imagine
like,
me meeting your kids. Like, I'm afraid of them. I'm afraid that one day I will come to New York and like meet your kids and like, it's Jay. And they look, oh, we've seen all the episodes. And
and we're
so
like,
far, Jay has told people to suck her dick.
and
She
we're like,
shit. She was
she
caught
we
spitting.
shat everywhere because kids are like so dramatic.
And, oh my God, like, why? I'm afraid. Like, I need to be
You
poised in front of them.
you
Like,
no, you are an Egyptian gem. Yeah. They'll be fine. Oh, mi gente, we love the laughs, but we have reached the end of Funny Gals Talk. But before we go, Jay, let them know where to find you, girl.
all right, you can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, Jaylan Salman, and you can find all my poetry on theprose.com. And I also have this YouTube channel, Jaylan Salman, where you can find all my video interviews and some visual poetry and stuff like that.
You're so eclectic. You're such a writer. You're such an author,
Yeah, baby, yeah, baby.
right?
Yeah,
You can
relax,
be that.
relax, baby. Right, right. Ooh, braska, braska.
You wake up and the air, the breeze is your muse.
Everything, everything, everything is news. This, I drop news. This, hair, news. No bra, news.
Muse.
I'm news.
No tits.
You did
Muse.
it. You did it. Yeah, it's coming. It's out there. So the news is falling over my head, and it's a pigeon shit.
Well, you heard it, mi gente. Make sure you follow my girl. And I want to thank you all so much for tuning in as always. And make sure you tune into the Funny Gals Talk next month, or the Funny Gals Talk series next month. Okay. Just to listen to these funny gals talk. And I think we're going to have a guest next episode. Jay and I have to, get it together, but we're going to have a guest and we're talking about bosses and the craziest things that we have said or done that surprisingly hasn't gotten us fired because we haven't. We're still there standing strong. We are. And yes, I said next month because this is a monthly series for right now. And like I said before, we made the decision to make the series strictly for YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the It's Me Shell podcast channel. You can tune into the regular scheduled podcast programming on all podcast platforms. And there'll be a snippet of this episode on all podcast platforms too, because we like to tease. Why not? It's what we do. We want to give you all a little taste. All right. But all links will be in the description below. So make sure you check that out. And I want to remind you to make sure you follow me, your girl, Michelle S. on Instagram at itsmi.chelle. Click that link in the bio for podcast platforms and much more. Look out for my surgicalization journey. Okay, that episode should be out in about, I want to say 2 weeks in our regularly programmed podcast episode programming. That was a fucking mouthful, but we did it.
Oh yeah.
And lastly, wait. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. And lastly, if there's any topics or anything you would like for us to talk about, or make fun of, make sure you send us DMs, emails, or voice messages telling us, your stories, and we'll add it to the episode. We'll make light of it because why not?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say, Jay?
Oh, baby, that was good.
You're like, you said enough, girl.
I've said too much. I probably hear too much, Jay, for the universe. Just drop it, baby. Drop it. Okay.
All right. So peace and love. We out.
I see you. It's me. 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 Shell.